Oh, yeah. The Saturday night crowd at Bug and Booze was alive and kicking. The aroma of roasted peanut shells covering the floor blended with the lusty smells of women who only wanted two things, to get drunk and to get laid. Wesley Tuttle's mouth slid up in an easy smile, his favorite kind of woman. "Are you listening to me?" With deliberate slowness, Wes turned back to his companion. She'd asked to meet him hundreds of miles from Fairview. Least she could do was let him enjoy himself for a little while. This was his first time here, and Wes already knew it wouldn't be his last. He eyed the woman sitting at the table with him. With her upper-crust, snooty attitude and expensive clothes, she looked as out of place here as a possum would at a pie-throwing contest. It was all for show. Everything about her was fake. He knew more than most anybody about this particular rich bitch. Those clothes might make her look high class, but when she had a little liquor inside her or needed a favor, she could make a Saturday night slut look like a nun. He gave her the smile he reserved especially for her, knowing it'd piss her off. "I want the woman, too." Shocked reflected on her face for barely a second, then a skinny, manicured hand waved dismissively. "Don't be ridiculous. If you make this more complicated, it will never work. You'll get more than enough for the kids." He stared hard. This point was non-negotiable. If she wanted him to do the job, she'd come around. Her eyes skittered away from his face. Good. She might be his employer for this particular gig, but she was scared of him, just the way he liked it. She chewed at her lower lip, smearing red lipstick over her teeth. "What do you want her for? Ransom?" A grin tugged on his mouth. "You know money ain't the reason I want her." Jealousy dripping from every word, she said, "What is it with you men? Her ass is the size of a double wide, and those boobs are freakishly large." It was all he could do not to laugh in her face. "If double wide trailers were shaped like her ass, I wouldn't mind living in one the rest of my life." The woman continued her rant. Wes ignored her, as he did most of the time. When she said something he wanted to hear, he'd tune in again. She was pissed he wasn't still trying to get into her panties. He'd been there and done that more times than he liked to count. Every time he made the return trip, he always swore he'd never go back again. But when he was horny, sometimes he needed the itch scratched without preliminaries. Given the proper incentive, this bitch was always willing. "Are you listening to me?" "I will when you say something worth hearing." Eyes flashed with a haughty fury. She reared back as only her kind could. Wes snorted, not one bit impressed with her highbrow attitude. "Listen, we may be in business together, but I ain't taking no shit off you. You tell me where I can nab the brats and the woman. I'll take care of the rest. That sure as hell don't mean we gotta be bosom buddies." Wes swallowed another snort, like she had any kind of bosom he could buddy up to. Hell, she barely had anything up top at all. Another reason she was so jealous of the woman. The difference between them was like an ocean to a mud puddle. The anger in her eyes seemed to dim for the moment. Talking business was one way to keep that jealousy under control. "They'll be hard to get to. She barely lets them out of her sight, and it'll have to be done somewhere out of the house. It'd take a tank to get inside that estate." Wes shrugged. "So, find a way to get him out in the open. I can get rid of anybody who sees me." "No, I don't want anyone killed. That would attract too much attention." He cackled. Hell, she was dumber than he thought. "You don't think kidnapping two little girls with that last name in this state ain't going to cause an uproar? Especially after what happened to their daddy? FBI's going to be on it like flies on chicken shit." A small bit of fear flashed in her face, and then she shrugged. "You do what I tell you to do, and no one will ever find them. It doesn't matter who's looking for them." Man, she sure hated the woman. Wes wasn't one to question other people's motives. Most times he didn't care. If he got money for it, there wasn't a lot he wouldn't do. He'd always prided himself on having no limits. Took balls of steel and major smarts to do what he'd done most of his life and not get caught. He eyed the woman again. Hell, might as well make the offer. It'd be some extra dough and no skin off his nose. "If you hate her that much, I can offer once I'm finished with her." Her eyes widened with what looked like genuine shock. "I don't want her dead, you idiot. I don't want anyone killed." She leaned forward. "Understood?" Fine with him. He sure as hell wasn't going to do extra stuff he wouldn't get paid for. "Fine. I'll wear a mask or something. Don't know why you're so against killing all of a sudden. You sure didn't seem to have a problem with it when you got rid of her."